one of the vlogs that I just put up here on the channel, this past weekend, or I guess it was last Thursday, I went down. We can talk a little NFL draft because I went down to the New York Jets, New York Giants, Metlife Stadium official NFL draft party. Steve, how do you feel like your Commanders have done here? And as we record this, things are still in the later stages of the draft. But how do you feel overall?
I am okay with it. I don't want to begin to say that I am an expert in any way, shape, or form. I'm on the message boards, I'm on the Reddit threads, and I know some people are unhappy that we drafted 2 defensive backs with our first 2 picks. But I think that they made good choices going with the best players in certain needs that we needed. We need a lot of O-line help, and I know that they drafted an O-lineman today. But I think, you have to weigh certain things. It's just like, when we draft fantasy teams, sometimes you go with the best player available, regardless of whether it's a need or not. And sometimes that if you can get somebody that is just as good, if not maybe better, than the quote unquote higher prospect players, you don't necessarily need to make a stretch. So I know they definitely didn't leap and make any leaps to get anybody, and I'll say also, considering our track record for having to trade up to get picks and do all sorts of stuff, I'm okay with a, not flashy, under the radar pick. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think your defense is actually really solid. I think you guys are going to be pretty good. One of the things for me, being a Jet fan, it was obviously very exciting news last week when the news broke that we had traded for Aaron Rodgers. We have one of the best quarterbacks. You want to put him top 5, you want to put him top 10. I don't think you can put him much lower than that. One of the best quarterbacks in the league for a team that at one point last year we were 6-3 or 6-7-3, and we were right there ready for the playoffs. Then we lost the last 6 games because we just could not figure out the quarterback situation. So to have Aaron Rodgers come in now, it's very exciting. And thankfully, my good friend Jasper is a season ticket holder for the Jets. He found out about this party that was coming aboard kind of an NFL draft party. And let us know immediately that he had gotten us tickets. So I went with Dakota, and we went down. And his daughter, they're the same age, so they were very excited to go down there. And they had a bunch of stuff set up, but it was really like, we just got Rodgers now. Let's all get together and just celebrate our excitement over the Jets, which is not something we can do very often. So it was a very, very cool deal. I put the vlog up, from our trip there. And it was really nice. It was, I was very impressed, honestly, that Daniel Jones was there. Certainly Aaron Rodgers couldn't be bothered. But Daniel Jones went, and I thought, the guy just landed a huge deal for him, takes the Giants to the playoffs, and here he is at a random fan fest. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, so I was going to ask what made you made the decision to go to the draft party. So that was it.
Yeah, so Jasper had the tickets. He mentioned, hey, we're always going to go. It's always a lot of fun. Me, unfortunately, at this day and age, with work and with daycare and with school and with so many different things going on, sometimes doing things in the middle of the week that are such a big thing, it's tough. It really is. It becomes like a difficult type of decision to do that. But he said he had the tickets. It was one of these deals where he was so excited about it, and the way he built it up was really fun too. Is like, they had you can go kind of visit the lockers. You could go and meet a couple different players, do some autograph signings. You could, there's also a kids pack, like a kids area, kids zone, I think it was called, where they can go in there and go on these little kind of what Jet Fan Fest used to be when I was a kid. And you'd go in and kind of do all these different types of slides and all these fun deals for them, kind of bounce housey type stuff. They had different, Dunkin' Donuts was there giving out munchkins and coffees. All the while, it was a party hosted by Bart Scott. They had a DJ there, and they were all throughout the day, they were also showing live coverage of the draft. Yeah. So the entire night, you were able to be there. And the excitement level from when the Jets picked, and they ended up getting Will McDonald, who I, honest to goodness, have nothing. Will McDonald could literally knock on my door, claim to be Will McDonald, and I would have no way word in edgewise as to who he is. I'm not familiar. It was a very strange pick, but no one cared. Everyone was so excited. They were just ready for it to come through. And once it did come through, the place cleared out pretty quick. Giants.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody was there for their pick at all.
Huh. That's really cool, though.
Yeah, it was awesome. And MetLife was a lot of fun. You got to go. We got to get all the food there, and it was packed. I mean, you could see some of the clips of where I posted the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like 50,000 people. It was insane.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you got to think. It was a joint thing. It was between the Jets and the Giants.
Correct, yeah. So they both had, but it was a very Jets-heavy event. In the store, it was about probably 75% Jets stuff, tons of Rodgers merch. People were already getting their jerseys. Everyone was so excited. And, I mean, my sister came with us. All of her friends were there, and a lot of people took this in to make it a tailgate event. It was free parking, free admission.
Yeah.
Got a free for going. Her friends, I think the event started at 7, draft started at 8. Her friends were in the parking lot at like 3:30, and the whole day, and it was almost like a random football tailgate in the middle end of April.
I mean, yeah, it sounds like an awesome opportunity to do some tailgating.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. I'm glad we were able to go. Kind of a good start for the football season. I'm not a huge draft guy. It's always been fun the last couple of years because the Jets and Giants have both been so bad. So happy to pick early. Way back in the archives, if you go back years ago into the Disney 101 archives, I think the video was like we went to go see it wasn't Star Wars. It was actually the Avengers. And that day when we went, it was the same day it was released as the NFL draft. So we actually started our day at Hooters. And once the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, we walked across to watch the movie. So interesting to see that Daniel Jones is, become at least a decent quarterback. Probably not great, but decent enough to get such a big deal.
Yeah, it's come kind of sort of full circle.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was good to go. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to do locker room tours. Too many people there. And when you've got little kids, they're kind of your entire focus. So, it would have been great to run around as adults and do it and probably do. That would have been cool. They had Nick Mangold signing autographs. The guy they just got, the Green Bay wide receiver, was there signing autographs. His name escapes me. But it was a really cool event, and I'm glad we got to go. And but yeah, it was all Coda was just excited to go and do the little bounce houses and have fun with her friends. So it was cool to get out there and do that. We got some really nice photos of her and the kids like right there, and the idea that you're on the field of MetLife Stadium. Like I did take a minute while we were walking around the end zone just to kind of take it in and say like, wow, this is actually where they play. Like this is incredible. Yeah. So that was really neat.
Is that Lazard? Is that?
What's that?
Lazard, is that the guy that they just got?
Alan Lazard. Look at you, Steve. Very, very good. Yeah, Alan Lazard. He'll probably be our number 2 or 3 wide receiver. And I mean, I think probably helped to secure Rodgers, getting him someone that he has familiarity with. So,
well, wasn't it that like Rodgers basically gave them like a wish list that was like, get these guys and then you got my attention, basically. Right. Like
a little bit of a diva, but we're happy to have him. We're rolling out the red carpet, and we're good to go there. So,
too early to call him Broadway Aaron?
Maybe. Let's get us to the playoffs for the first time in a decade at least. I think the hope here though is he follows a similar vein of Peyton Manning, where Manning was in his career, spent his entire career with the Colts, got 1 Super Bowl, basically a young team that he felt like was a quarterback away, linked up with them. First year into the playoffs and gets to this. I think the first year they got in the playoffs. Second year he got to the Super Bowl and got crushed. Third year, final year, got to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl, retired. And I think that's what Rodgers is probably hoping to get here as well.
As long as he doesn't wind up like the last Packers quarterback you guys got.
Which you just used the Jets for 1 year and then bailed and went over to Minnesota.
I wonder if the bets are in yet, if you can call up Vegas and put money on whether or not Rodgers goes to the Vikings at some point.
I think at this stage, with the way that betting has gone with these FanDuel and the DraftKings and everything else, I think there's probably a bet you could throw on pretty much anything at this stage.